the question is, how and when do I meditate, and how do I apply it to trading? All right, so when do I do it? In the morning. Sometimes I'll do it in the evening as well, but always in the morning, at least 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, depending upon how I'm feeling. And then how do I do it? Okay, so how do I do it? It's actually very simple, man. People make a fucking mountain out of a molehill with meditation. Look, if anyone's trying to sell you on a goddamn course or an app or any bullshit like that with meditation, it's not that it's bad. It's just you don't fucking need it, man. Meditation's the easiest thing in the world, and it just gets conflated with all this like hippie granola, don't shave your armpits type bullshit, which is completely negating the actual value in it, which is very practical. And it's this. All you're trying to do with meditation is you're trying to train your mind, hashtag TM. You're training your mind essentially to focus on the present moment. And what you realize throughout that practice is you realize that all of the thoughts and whatnot that you have going on during the day are pretty random, actually. You think that you have control of your thoughts, but you don't. Because where do your thoughts come from? Like, think about that. Truly think about that. Where do your thoughts come from? You don't have control. I don't think that you have control of them, or at least I don't think I have control from my thoughts. Like, I think all fucking weird sort of shit all throughout the day, and it's like, if I start to identify with that, I'm gonna think that I'm crazy and need some sort of, well, okay, I am crazy, but I think I'd need like definitely like a padded cell to live in and shit like that. But more importantly, how do I do it? I literally just sit down on my ass and look at the wall. That's it. You can do it any which way, man. You can close your eyes, you can open your eyes. I think it's better to open your eyes, because what you're really doing is you're really training yourself to be more grounded in any situation. So I want to simulate that as much as possible. Some people think that you need to listen to some music or something, or you need to be in like a very quiet place. I say fuck that. That's actually, in my opinion, probably wrong. Like, if you're going to train yourself, when do you train yourself? Do you train yourself when it's super fucking easy? Well, maybe to start, yes, but eventually you're training for those more, busy situations. So you want to put yourself under a bit of pressure. You want to put yourself in a weird and awkward situation. I don't mind going outside and when it's kind of loud, or, you hear like the sounds of the city going on, that's completely fine. And if you can focus your mind on that, it's not even focusing your mind, but just getting out of your mind and focusing on the present moment, that is incredibly useful in my opinion, because you can apply that to just about anything, not just trading. And I didn't even learn it for, I kind of learned it for trading, to be honest, but I kind of just learned it as like a general life skill because I was sold on it, more importantly, but it flows into everything. So with trading, how do you apply it? Well, look, when you're in a bad trade, for example, like let's say, or not even if you're in a bad trade, if you're just in a trade, a lot of the time what happens, if you're like me, your mind starts running in both directions. Whenever price action ticks one tick in your favor, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be fucking rich. I'm going to use the money for this and that. I'm going to fucking move my stop up over here. I'm going to target much further deep because this one's the big one. This is the one that's going to 100 million gazillion. Or on the other side, when you get fearful, you start your mind starts, or at least my mind starts running in the opposite direction. It starts saying like shit like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything right now. This is going to be the time. It's a black swan event. The exchange is going to close down, and I'm going to lose everything that I ever made and worked for in my life, and I'm going to go back down to zero, and that fucking sucks. Blah 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 blah. Both of these are two sides of the same coin. Obviously, what's actually happening is what is right there in front of you in the present moment. Nothing more, nothing less. You can't fucking have a crystal ball for the future, and anytime that you worry about that, you're just producing anxiety that's only going to get in your way anyways, and tilt you off your axis, which is where you need to be in a centered moment in order to make the best decisions possible for yourself. And when it comes to trading, especially when you have finances on the line, do you think it's going to be a good idea to have like your fucking mental RAM all scrambled up in bullshit? Absolutely fucking not, man. Or at least in my opinion, absolutely fucking not, because you need access to all of your highest level facilities in order to do this. And at least in my experience, because it's a rather difficult thing to do for the most part. Once you kind of get it down, I think after that, it's like most things. It's like walking, when you're first starting to learn how to walk, it's difficult. And you're like, what the fuck? How do I do this shit? and then after you've done it for a while, it starts to become second nature. And that's pretty much any skill in life, trading included. But trading has, the added complexity of having finances involved. So again, to go back and reiterate your question, the question was, how and when do you meditate, and how do you apply it to your trading? When do I do it? In the morning, sometimes at night, for 15 minutes minimum, sometimes 20 minutes. How do I do it? I stare at the wall, or I go outside and stare at just whatever the hell's in front of me, and I keep my eyes open and try to just let my thoughts arise, and then not identify with them, and then just let them go by the wayside until the mind just kind of quiets. after about minute 10 or 15, you start to kind of enter into a more focused state, I would say. And from there, that's kind of where I want to be, or at least that's where I want to remind myself of where I want to be if I find myself in a difficult situation later in the day, perhaps related to trading, perhaps related to anything, basically, you know, maybe it could be gaming too, who the fuck knows. And then I can start to cultivate that as a skill when I am under pressure, in order to essentially bring myself back towards that, in order to not identify with either positive or negative thoughts, you know, so to speak, because I have a deep understanding that those thoughts are not what's going to make you successful. It's adherence to the present moment and adherence to what's actually fucking going on in reality at this moment in time that's going to give you the best shot, the best opportunity to do and accomplish what you're setting out to fucking do. So with trading, that means not getting in your own way, essentially. How many times you've entered into a trade, or how many times have I entered into my own trades and got in my own way, especially when I was first beginning? All the fucking time, man. All the fucking time. You know, I'd have like a great plan and be like, holy shit, if I actually just followed my plan, I would be rich as fuck, you know? But it's like something gets in the way there where you don't follow your plan. So that's where I find meditation has a great value, because you can start to disassociate with those thoughts, and you can just associate with what's actually happening, which is the most real thing anyways. Like, that's literally as real as it gets by fucking definition. So that's it.